Hi guys, so this is my third time trying to record this voiceover. My voice is somewhat back now, so hopefully third is my lucky charm. So into a 6.5 inch square white card, I'm going to die cut this tile, which is from the Tile Nested Dies collection from Jamie Rogers. And I'm taking the second largest one out of the set. I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. Once that window is die cut into it, I'm going to take an embossing folder, and that one is from Chloe's Creative Cards, and it is the lace background. It is gorgeous, so lovely and detailed. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine as well, and look at all that gorgeous detail. I just really love these embossing folders. For my card base, I have an 8-inch square white card base. From the Pasta Sorbet collection, I picked out some colored papers which have these corally tones. Cut that one to 7.75 inches. And the pattern paper measures 7.5 inches. It is from the Made to Surprise Showstopper 2 paper pad. I'm not sure if that's still available yet, but I really want to start using up my papers. The smaller white square measures 7 inches, the corally 6.75 inch square. I am going to decorate the edges of the pattern paper and the one that we'd already worked on with some glitter. To do that, I'm using a glue pen to drag it along the four sides of each of these cardstock, and then I'm going to sprinkle the Sparkling Sugar by Wow sparkles on this. It's such a gorgeous glitter. Now, with the other one, because it is embossed and it has a lot of raised areas, rather than dragging the pen, I'm just dabbing it, making sure that it gets into all those crooks and grooves in there. So it will give me a much better coverage. I just find that is a better solution for me when I have embossed details like this on the card. Now to layer these up, I'm adding the corally and the pattern paper straight onto the card front. Then I'm layering the other corally card onto that smaller white square and popping this entire panel up foam pads to attach this to my card front. I'm also adding foam pads behind the decorative panel that we had prepared earlier on, and then I'm just attaching this to my card front as well. Now I do like to reinforce my foam pads with a bit of a liquid glue as well, especially if I'm going to add heavy embellishments on top of these. Using the same die as I've die cut the window from and one larger, I've die cut a white frame to go around that window. But at this point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the frame white or add color to it, so I just popped it to the side, and I was going to decide about that later. Now, talking about flowers, my favorite part of card making. Using the new Christmas Rose set from Chloe's Creative Cards, I'm not going to use the stamps today, only the dies and the embossing folders. But I am not going to make Christmassy flowers at all. One of my favorite things, really truly, is to take these floral stamps and die sets and create all different looking flowers with them to change up the look of the end product completely, to really stretch your supplies. So you don't have to have all of these stamp and die sets, but you can have just one or two and create so many different flowers with them. And that's what I'm going to do. So with the dies, I die cut the flowers from white pearlescent card, and I am re-inking my ink pad in there. You could see me using the freestyle Teal just to add a little bit of conditioning into my ink pad, make sure I had loads and loads of ink on it when I dabbed my paper flowers into it. Using the Dappled Coral and the Dappled Peach today, I'm not going to use the Dappled Pink, which came with the set, but I'm going to use these two on my flowers. So with the darker one, the Dappled Coral, you could see I just went all around the flower, but very sparingly. So there's a lot of white areas, which I'm filling up now by adding Dappled Peach all over that flower. And these two colors will melt together beautifully. They will just create such a gorgeous, subtle flower for me. These are absolutely stunning. You could see off camera I created a second one, exactly the same technique. Now, one of these I'm going to emboss in the embossing folder. It's very easy to line up. I find it easiest turn this way so you can see the flower through the embossing folder. You can line it up easily and run it through your die cutting machine. Look at that gorgeous detail. We're going to add something extra to this. So outlining each of the petals, and now make sure you use dry clear glue. So it is white going on, but it will dry completely clear. I'm outlining each of those petals and going to sprinkle my sparkling sugar sparkles by Wow on this. It is going to leave me with some lovely subtle sparkle once it dries back. You'll see how gorgeous it is just in a minute. Now, normally I'd be going for striking looks. Today I'm going for subtle sparkling flowers, but you'll see how gorgeous these turn out to be. When we ran our flower through the embossing folder, it left me with that gorgeous embossed detail, and there's like an embossed stamen in there too, and it has little dots at the end of each. So there's 2 on each of those petals. I'm adding a little dot of the same dry clear glue onto those, and then out of the orange rhinestone set that I have there, you can see on the right hand side, picking out the lightest shade of the smaller sizes. I'm popping one of those onto each of those little glue dots, and these will show next to no color, rather than shine and sparkle in there once the glue dries back, and it will just blend in so beautifully with that glitter in there as well. I've also die cut the stamen using the stamen die from the die set, and I'm adding Diamond Splash onto this. Such a gorgeous embossing glitter. Guys, this is beautiful. It doesn't show on camera half of how gorgeous this really is. So I'm heat setting it with my heat tool. I'm adding it into my palm of my hand and just pressing down in the middle just to create a little bit of a dimension and shape it a little bit. With the other set of petals, I'm just bending down along the middle of each petal in there to create a bit of shape, popping the detailed one on top of it, and then just the stamen. Taking one of those larger rhinestones, I'm just going to pop this in the middle of the flower. So this is what it looks like when it's ready, but you can see how white that glue is. I have prepared one ahead of time just to show you in comparison. Once all that glue dries back, it will leave you with that gorgeous subtle sparkle, and how beautiful is this flower, guys. I really am in love with this. It just looks so stunning. Now off camera I've taken the medium and the small dies as well, and using exactly the same techniques I created a medium and a smaller size flower as well. So I will be using all 3 on my card today. Now, for the foliage, I didn't want to use the ones from the set because they really look very Christmassy. So I've taken the die from the lovely Lily die set and I've die cut the foliage leaf several times. I'm showing you one here on camera from white card, dabbing it into the very juicy ink pad, and I'm going to use Dappled Sage this time. Oh, this is so gorgeous, honestly. You'll see it more at the very end of this video on some close-ups. This leaves it with some lovely dappled effect. The look of this is beautiful. I don't even know why I've never used this embossing powder before. I definitely will be keeping it handy for future. It is truly gorgeous. Off camera I prepared several more of those. Now I'm taking a piece of white card and I'm dabbing my ink pad all over it. I'm going to cover this in the Aurora Borealis embossing glitter. Wow, this is so beautiful. You'll see it melting in here. It is just stunning. This is the magic of heat embossing. You'll see it in full action just right now. This is what made me fall in love with it. Look at that. It goes from that dull to this gorgeous shiny glittery piece of card, and it's very easy to see where I missed areas, so I went back with my heat tool. Just look at that color change. How gorgeous. And I am die cutting with the Droplet Sprigs die set from this panel from Sentimentally Yours. Die cuts very easily. They are solid, and then there are outline pieces in here. You'll see in a minute what I mean. I'll pop them onto white cards so you'll be able to see. So this is the outline one, and then these are these more solid ones. So you could layer these up on top of each other as well. At this point I wasn't sure if I'm going to use both of these or just the little outline ones. So I've die cut all of these several times, all those single ones as well, but I will end up using only the outline ones. For my card I thought it just looked better. You'll see that when I'm putting the card together in a minute. So in here, just doing a little bit of a dry run while I'm deciding if I wanted to add some color to that frame, and I decided to leave it white. Now that frame is die cut from a different shade of white than my front panel is, so it sets away from it but goes really lovely with the colors of my flower, with all the glitter and all, has that ivory kind of tone to it. So I just left it like that. And in here it was that I was deciding that I'm only going to use the outline sprays. I'm going to put this on high speed so you can watch me decorate the card. Going to use my hot glue to add all the elements. I only use the liquid glue to pop the frame around the window there. So while you're watching me this, I'm going to mention, if you're watching this on or before the 30th of November 2026, make sure you pop over to the Wow Embossing website. I will leave the links to the UK and the US shop in the description box below, because they have a whopping 40% sale for Black Friday. How amazing is this? Guys, you can stock up on lovely embossing powders, glitters, foils. There's some exclusions, but you can read about all those on the website. Make sure you check this sale out. It is absolutely amazing. It's so exciting. And the links below will be affiliated links to Wow Embossing Powders website. So if you shop through those, it will cost you no extra at all, but it will give me a little bit of a kickback, which is really to support my crafting. So thank you so much if you choose to use my links. And to help you choose out the best products, Wow Embossing Powder has created a lovely blog post where they outline the design theme top picks. So each of us has picked out 3 or more products that we really absolutely love, and you can find that blog post linked in the description box below. It's quite an interesting read, so make sure you check that out as well as other blog posts coming up sharing some inspiration of all our favorite projects for Wow Embossing. And I know that Chloe also has some amazing Black Friday deal running on her website, so make sure you check those out as well. Anything I'm using today will be linked in the description box below. In here I am using some of these lovely pearls from the pearl brush from Koi's Creative Cards to add 5 in each of the corners that have nothing in. Just using my dry clear glue again and just my gem picker to add those. For my sentiment, I didn't have anything in my stamp stash or die stash, so I printed out "Good luck on your new adventure." This is what I needed this card for today. Cut around them, and I backed with them with the same coral paper that I used before in the backgrounds. Cut a very thin frame around them from the coral and popping these on foam pads to add them to my card. Now I do end up adding one of them a bit crooked. Try to fix it, but I managed to tear into that corally background in there. So to fix that, I am adding just some of those pearls that I used on the flowers earlier, and that covers it up beautifully. It wasn't a big tear anyway, probably someone wouldn't even noticed, but I knew that it was there, so I wanted to cover it up. But that subtle shine from those rhinestones, I think, just goes very well in there. So here is some close-ups, and I will show you some still photos in a minute as well. Just look at that, how gorgeous and subtle that sparkle is. I really love this color combination. I would love to know, what do you think of this? I've truly enjoyed creating this card using my speckled embossing powders, linked in the description box below for you. Make sure you check out the website and the sale. Take advantage of it, because these products are absolutely beautiful. So check out some other tutorial until I come back for next time with some amazing video, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, because daily videos in December are coming up and it is super exciting. I'll see you back soon. Until then, bye!